You're boring! You're fucking boring!
Starfield.
And the only thing keeping us together is inertia!
You monster!
First impressions are everything. People have a limited time, so you really need to hook them early if you expect them to drop tons of hours into what you're about to serve them. You need to present a compelling enough world, characters, and/or gameplay if you want them to invest the time, and Starfield just falls a little short here. I mean, it falls flat in a ton of places, like bland exploration, boring quests, the insane number of loading screens, and so on, but other people have made better, longer videos about that, so let's just focus on the initial hook. If you like this game, that's great. I'm happy for you. But personally, I expected better because as a fan of Bethesda since the early 2000s, I know they can do better because I've seen them do it multiple times. Just take the opening moments from Starfield and compare it to one of their other games, Fallout 4, a game people love to hate, but I just love, and you'll see what I mean. For starters, Starfield opens with you as a miner, the career, not the age. Apparently, on your first day on the job, you are fixed into place while you get talked at about mining stuff and then have to slowly follow your boss around, who walks slower than you, which is a sin in all games, as she makes the rounds and shoots the shit. While being shown the ropes, you are sent off alone to find some kind of anomaly. Not sure why you, the newbie, are picked over anyone else on her team, but whatever. You find an artifact and touch it, because you're a miner, not an archaeologist. You get a weird vision, fade to black, and ta-da! Now you're special. So outside of some basic gameplay controls, what did we learn from this contrived sequence? Not a hell of a lot, other than some mining tips with some meaningless banter mixed in. Are these people we saw important to us? Nope, we just met them and don't even engage with them. What is the structure of this world like? Hard to tell because you're in a cave underground and haven't seen anything of consequence other than some lasers, so it's likely the future. Who are you as a character? Pass. That said, as you awaken from your mind trip, you are given the choice to sort of figure that last part out with a character creation screen, which is sort of like a, hey, do you remember who you are? I like that they try to incorporate that part into the game, but you just sort of cut to a menu and pick everything, even your background, which could be something wild like bounty hunter. You were a bounty hunter? How did you end up working this job? Why can't you just start as a bounty hunter? In contrast, Fallout 4's character creation, like most games, is the first thing you do, but here it's cleverly baked into the gameplay. Your character begins by looking into the mirror while chatting with their partner, who you can also customize, about their day, slowly beginning to immerse you right off the bat. Once finished, you seamlessly jump into the world to explore your house. You exchange some more lines with your partner and robot butler, comment on objects as you interact with them, and listen to the news while you look around, all of which helps to immediately settle you into the feel of this world and your place in it. You even get to pick your core stats via a survey from a door-to-door salesman, and even here you learn a little bit more about Vault Tech, which is a major force within this setting. In this beginning, you learn a lot in a very short amount of time.
Sugar bombs, 100% daily value of sugar.
Back in Starfield, once you've picked your character and what cooler job you had before this one, some dude shows up to confirm that yes, you are indeed special, and I'm not joking, just gives you his ship and robot butler so you can go join his Space Explorer Club. You are then briefly attacked by the bad faction of the game, Space Pirates, who are beaten by you and your other civilian miner buddies pretty easily. After you kill them, you quit your job of one day, leave the dude behind, and then peace out to space to start your adventure. After another quick little fight in space, and then killing a base full of more pirates, and then a ton of zone changes going all the way to the Explorers Club, then the adventure can begin. But what even is that? What are the stakes here? To find more artifacts. Okay, but why? Why should I care? Do I need the money? Is there money involved? Is the world gonna change if I do it or not? Is anyone's life hanging in the balance? Except maybe mine if I do decide to do it. So why? If adventure is the goal, then why do we even need anything before this part? We could have just started as part of this society and nothing would change. After only a few moments in Fallout, the news reports that nuclear attacks have begun across America. In a panic, you grab your partner and baby and run to the nearby shelter, seeing the chaos erupt around you as you barely make it there in time. Once there, you see a tiny bit of the vaults before you are unknowingly frozen as part of some sort of twisted experiment. But at some point, you are thawed out just long enough to see your partner killed and your baby taken. After being frozen again, you wake up, alone in the vault. After stumbling through it, you emerge into the wasteland of the world you once knew. This sequence shows you how the world came to be and why it's also alien for your character when they inevitably have to ask questions about things that will be obvious to anyone who lives there. It reveals the sinister nature of the vaults and gives you a reason to charge out into the unknown, all while still teaching you the gameplay basics. The stakes here are made very clear. You have to find your son, if he's still alive. Maybe you don't even care about your son that you've only known for 5 minutes, and that's okay, that's fine. But you now still have to survive in this harsh new environment. Outside of finding your son, the stakes here are adapt or die. The last point I want to touch on is how each of these games introduces the major threats in their respective worlds. These threats are types of hooks, as they are meant to be a sort of benchmark to gauge your power progression, to show how far you've come in your journey from peasant to dragon slayer. It's always best to introduce these threats early in some spectacular way so the player knows what they're progressing towards. In Starfield, a terramorph is the most deadly thing in the universe. In one of the first missions you get, you go to a meatpacking plant where you find that everyone except one worker has been killed, and you help out by turning on some switches to track it so an alarm goes off faster and faster as it gets closer and closer. It is a sort of tense experience when you first see it and it gets closer to you, but you realize all you have to do is turn on some nearby turrets. After that, you can literally just walk in a circle and it dies. Easy, no effort. This is the major threat. You don't need to do anything. You don't even need to attack it, but you are hailed as some kind of badass for taking it down.
You've made quite an impression around here. Everyone upstairs is talking about it.
In Fallout 4, they introduce the Deathclaw. Yeah, Bethesda isn't subtle with their names. When you are fresh into the wasteland and you are fighting off some raiders in a suit of power armor with a goddamn minigun. The fight isn't the most difficult thing ever, but you do have to put some effort in as this creature jumps around you, taking swings that could easily kill you in a hit or two. You also have to keep in mind that during this fight, the Deathclaw is distracted by other raiders, and you are basically using a one-time Iron Man suit, as that type of armor won't be common until later in the game. And you also have a minigun. It shows you just how dangerous this enemy can be, even when you have some of the strongest weapons and armor at your fingertips, so it keeps you fearful of them throughout your playthrough when you don't have any of these things. Outside of being incredibly slow and devoid of any real engagement, Starfield stumbles early by failing to make the player care about anything it shows us. Unimportant characters, weak world building, stakes that really couldn't be any lower, and threats that are more of a nuisance than anything to overcome. I do hear that the game really starts to get good after about 15 to 20 hours, but you know what? That's too bad. That's not really a good justification for such a snore-inducing intro, and frankly, I think it's more than fair to judge a game by what it chooses to present to you first, as that sets the tone for the whole experience. Let's face it, after 20 hours, the game didn't get any better. You just developed a coping mechanism to explain why you're still playing it. I have not lost faith in Bethesda. They have shown many times that they can write great introductions, and I'm looking forward to whatever they put out next. Elder Scrolls 6. Until then though, I'm gonna play some games that actually have managed to hook me. So that's it for now. Thanks for letting me talk gaming.